like mentioning any names or anything, what do you think? What do you think can be corrected?
Well, I mean, the one thing, if you look at it by the numbers, the bigger problem's been the offense.
Okay.
You know, I mean, like last year we ended up 17th in defense, which is not good enough to win big, but I mean, it's almost in the top half where it's 25th in offense. And so I think that we have to make strides in both. Usually to be a playoff team that would have a chance to win, in my opinion, you have to be top 10 in both. So we have to have a good plan to help both the offense and the defense.
You talked about having balance between offense and defense. Are those two related?
Totally. The offense and defense are always related in this game. I mean, there are the things that stand out. So obviously, if you turn the ball over a lot, you're killing the beginning of your defense, you know, because turnovers usually lead to easy baskets. If you take a lot of bad shots, that's going to hurt your transition defense. All the way down to, you know, game management where, you know, it's why having two-way players is an important thing, and a willingness for guys to work towards being two-way players. Everybody has a strength and a weakness, and so much of it is if you're a terrific defender and offense doesn't come as easily to you, there's usually a way that you can play so the team can function well when you're on the floor. If you're a terrific offensive player and defense doesn't come as naturally to you, there's still also a way, by being an expert on the defense, by being great with technique, by being totally on top of everything, so the team can function well when you're out there.
You talked about getting Mo into the flow earlier in the game. How do you bring along Jonathan Isaac, not playing as much as his review and getting a little bit of experience?
Well, I think Jonathan's in a different situation than Mo. I mean, Jonathan Isaac played really well in Summer League, very well, and I think he played in a manner or did a lot of things in Summer League that will translate into playing well in the NBA. You know, he's been around for a year, so he has a better idea of what to expect. And they're both going to be on the floor. I just, you know, Jonathan's, you know, much further along physically and mentally than Mo is.
Cliff, the fact that you have guys that can play multiple positions, can switch, I mean, that's kind of everything in the NBA these days. How much does that help your roster?
Oh, huge. I mean, positional size, versatility, guys that can play more than one position. It makes your defense so much easier. Then again, if they can play both offense and defense, then, you know, your Golden State, your Boston, you know, your Philadelphia, you have that kind of roster.
Do you have an idea of the lineups you want to see out there at this point, or is that a get into it and figure it out as you go?
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. That's why we're going to, you know, the fact that they were so good about showing up in September. You know, we're planning tomorrow to play two and a half quarters of 5-on-5, and we'll start looking at lineups. You know, see who can play well together. Because as you know, it's not just who starts. You know, you've got to have a way to play with balanced lineups on the floor for 48 minutes. So there's a lot that goes into that, and the more we can play 5-on-5 in scrimmage here early, the better chance we have to evaluate everything.
You got an initial sense of how much, say, Jonathan Isaac can play simultaneously as Aaron Gordon? How much?
Well, I think the two of them can play together a lot. You know, to me, they're hybrid forwards. You know, I don't know if there are three or there are four, but usually, like for instance, you know, in a playoff series, you know, the position you are really gets back to who you can defend. And they can both guard threes and fours, in my opinion. So it makes you bigger, versatile. I mean, there's a lot of really good teams who I look at and say have, you know, similar forwards. You know, look at Toronto, you know, with OG and Ibaka. To me, they're similar to that. Look at Portland. You know, with, you know, Harkless, they're both 3s and 4s, so I think there's a lot of teams that play that way that are very good offensively and defensively.
This isn't your first time coaching a team. This isn't your first time in Orlando. You've been around. Is there anything about this that gets sentimental for you?
Well, I don't know sentiment. I mean, I think it's enjoyable. This is, for a coach, it's an exciting time because, it's the beginning of an opportunity to, see how a team can fit together, and then the work starts. The true evaluation where, what's the old axiom? You get up every day, think about what happened yesterday, and then make decisions on today. Do those things which will give us the best chance to play well tomorrow. And from now until hopefully a playoff run ends, that's what we'll be doing. So that's why you coach.
Cool. Is everyone good?